to Yarn Creations by Lana. In today's video, I'm going to teach you all the basic stitches that you need to know to learn how to crochet. I have people all the time ask me to teach a class or teach them how to crochet. So if it's something you've always wanted to learn, now is your chance. And you only need a few supplies to get started. You need a skein of yarn, a crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a needle with a wide eye. I recommend using a basic number 4 worsted weight yarn for your first project. Anything too thick or too thin is a little bit more difficult to work with, and you want to keep it nice and easy for this project. You don't want to get anything that has any fringe or any type of fuzz on it. Those are also very difficult to work with. So keep it a nice, simple worsted weight yarn. You can tell the thickness of the yarn you're getting by looking at the label. There will be a little symbol on the label that has a number inside of it. That number tells you the thickness of your yarn. If it's a 5, 6, 7, or 8, those are very thick blanket yarns. Those are used for stuffed animals, some chunky sweaters, blankets. And if you get anything below a 4, like a 3, 2, or a 1, those are used a lot for baby projects and some very delicate lace projects. So let's keep it a number 4 to begin with. Also on that label, it will tell you the crochet hook that it recommends. This particular yarn recommends you start with a crochet hook size 6. So that is what I have right here today, a size 6. You can get a plastic hook, a wood hook, an all metal hook, or you can get these new hooks that have like a silicone base on them. They're very comfortable to work with. You can buy them individually or you can buy a whole set. I would recommend just sticking with an individual hook for now to see what you are most comfortable with. You can buy a set later. But this whole project, you should be able to begin for about $10. So let's get started. Once again, here are all the projects that you need to get started. And this is what I'm going to show you today. These are all of the different stitches. Begins with a chain down here and single crochets. Then we're going to do a half double, a double crochet, and a triple crochet. Those are all of your basic stitches. You generally don't do them all in one project, but it's a good way to take a look at the difference between the stitches. Sometimes you can pull your yarn out from each end to get started, but as a beginner, I would recommend just removing the label and starting from what is wound around the outside. It doesn't come wound quite like this, but you'll be able to unwind it very easily. And let's get some yarn and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is learn how to make a slip knot. I'm going to show you the way I do it, but you can do it any way you like. If you have a better way that's a little bit easier, feel free. It doesn't really matter as long as you get one on your hook. I drop it down over the hook so that the short part is in front of me, and put your finger on here to hold it, over to the left. Pick up that yarn that's on the right, crisscross it over your hook, and it will look a little bit like you have 2 on here. Pull that back loop up over the hook and draw it tight, and that's your slip knot. Like I said, any way you want to do it is fine, just put it on your hook. This stitch on your hook is never counted, so we begin counting after that. Generally, I hold my yarn with these 2 fingers, and my yarn goes in between my first 2 fingers. You're going to loop the yarn around your hook and pull it through that loop that's already on there, and that is your first chain. Let's do that again. Wind your yarn around your hook, pull it through, that's your second chain. Wind your yarn around your hook, pull it through, that's your third chain. Keep going. Here's your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you have 10 chains that have been completed. I don't want you to worry if yours looks very loose and uneven. You will get better the more you practice. That's really all it takes is practice. Okay, now that you have your chain 10, we're going to do 1 row of single crochet. Remember that you don't count the loop that is on the hook. So we're going to skip this first stitch right here, and we're going to go into the second stitch. You're just going to stick your crochet hook right into the middle of that stitch. Now it looks as though you have 2 on your crochet hook, and you're going to want to wrap your yarn around and pull it through just 1. Wrap your yarn around again and pull it through 2. Okay, now you have to be very careful not to crochet again in that same loop. It looks as though you can, but that's not the stitch you want to go into. You want to go into your next stitch. So you're going to put your crochet hook into this stitch, pull your yarn through once, pull your yarn through again. See what I'm saying? You can see where it's pulled up right here. That is not where you want to crochet. You want to crochet into the next chain. Here's number 3. Slip it into number 4, pull your yarn through, wind it around, pull it through again. Number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, and number 9. Remember, we only have 9 stitches now because we skipped that first stitch at the beginning of the row. So you should always, from this point on, have 9 stitches in a row. Now that you've come to the end of the row, I want you to chain 2 and turn your work around to the back side. We're going to begin the second row. When we begin the second row, you'll notice that looking at the top of it, you can see what looks like 2 loops. That is only 1 loop. It's the front part of the stitch and the back part of the stitch. So when you're single crocheting like this, you want to pick up both of those. Don't crochet into your 2 chain. You're going to crochet into the first stitch of the second row, picking up the front and back loops. Pull it through once, pull it through twice. There's a single crochet. Same thing, tip your work a little bit if you need to see those. Hook into both of those, pull your yarn through, wrap it around, pull it through again. That's really all you're going to do for this entire row. Now, when we get here down to the end, going into that 9th stitch is going to be a little bit tricky. Don't be afraid to tip it over. Put your crochet hook into both of those loops, pull it through, and pull it through both of those. Now, you have completed 2 rows of single crochet. Now we're going to go on to the next stitch, which is a half double crochet. So chain your 2 at the end of the row. This just helps you turn it so it's not so tight. If you don't chain any, it would be almost impossible to stitch into that first stitch. So now you're going to wrap your yarn around your hook once. You're going to put your crochet hook through both of those loops, pull it through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to wrap your yarn again and pull through all 3. That is a half double. That is in between a single and a double. Wrap your yarn again, put it through both loops, wrap your yarn, pull it through, and then through all 3. I'm not sure why, but this is one of my favorite stitches to do. Wrap your yarn, put it through both front and back loops, pull it through, and now through all 3. And we're going to complete that row. Making sure to go through front and back loops. Some patterns will require you to go through the front loop or the back loop only for a specific design. But for this, we want to go through both loops on that top there. I'll show you again. See there, you can see the front and back loop. And our last one right there. You want to make sure you aren't crocheting into that little chain 2 that we put on the side here. If you are in doubt, and I would recommend this anyway as a beginner, count your stitches every other row or so, because before you know it, you could add one or drop one and your project is going to be crooked. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, we don't count the one on the hook. Okay, we're going to do a half double again. So we're going to chain 2, turn your work, and here we go. Wrap it, put it into the first stitch, skipping those chain 2, wind it around one more time. Here we go. Another half double. And this just takes practice. What I would recommend is maybe starting with a single crochet and just do 10 rows of a single crochet. Don't go on to anything else until you're confident with that one. This is just in case you want to move on and do something else. You can do an entire scarf or a blanket out of just one stitch. You could do a single crochet for the entire thing or a half double crochet for the entire thing. There you go. There's the end of our second row of the half double. Now we're going to go on to a double crochet. We're going to chain 2, turn your work, and here's a double crochet. You're going to wind your yarn around your hook, just like you did for the half double. Put it into your stitch, pull it through so that you have 3 on your hook, but this time, instead of going through all 3, you're going to loop your yarn around and go through 2. So you have 2 more on your hook, pull it through and go through 2 again. That's a double crochet. Loop your yarn around, go through your hook, pull it through, so you have 3, pull it through 2, and then 2 again. Go into your stitch, pull it through 2, and 2 again. Wrap it around your hook, go through your stitch, pull it through, wrap it around, go through 2, and 2 again. Wrap it around, go through your stitch, pull it through, there you have 3, pull it through 2, and 2. Wrap it around, go through your stitch, 2, and 2. Here we are at the last one. There you go, you have your first row of double crochet. We're going to chain 2 and turn it around. Let's try that again. Wrap it around your hook, making sure to go into your first stitch, not this chain. Pull it through so you have 3 on your hook. Wrap it around, go through 2, and 2 again. I'm trying to tilt it so you can see the top of the stitch. Wrap it around, go through this stitch, pull it through so you have 3 on your hook, pull it through 2, and 2 again. Let's finish that row. Okay, we're coming up to our last 2 double crochets. There you go. Now you have 2 rows of single, 2 rows of half double, and 2 rows of double crochet. Okay, now we've come to the last stitch that I'm going to teach you for today. We're going to chain 2, turn your work around, and this is a triple crochet. So you're going to take that yarn and wind it around your hook 2 times. So you have 3 on your hook. Put your hook into that first stitch, pull it through, and now you have 4 on your hook. You're going to pull it through 2, wrap it around, pull it through 2, and wrap it around and pull it through the last 2. That's a triple crochet. Let's do it again. 2 times around your hook, through the stitch, pull it through 2, wind it around, pull it through 2, and wind it around and pull it through the last 2. There's 2 triple crochet. Remember, you're going to pull it through 2, 2, and 2. There you go, triple crochet. This is probably one of my least favorite stitches, and I'm not sure exactly why. It works in some projects, but if you're going to do that just as a blanket, I'm not too fond of it. Let's wrap it twice. 2, 2, and 2. Wrap it around twice. Pull it through 2, 2, and 2. Wrap it around twice, pull it through 2, 2, 2. There we go. Pull it through 2, 2, 2. That's basically all there is. Okay, I'm going to let you do another row on your own. Don't forget at the end of a row to chain 2. That'll just help you turn it. Okay, now I'm going to show you something called tucking in your ends. So when you're at the end of a project, you want to leave a little space or a little yarn, cut it off, and we're going to just pull it through. There we go. That's the end of our project. But now we can't leave all these ends hanging out, so I'm going to show you how to tuck those in. This is where your needle with the wide eye will come in. I don't know if you can see it. It's got a wide eye in it so that your yarn will fit through. So let's thread that needle. Now all you do is just weave it in there anywhere you can find. Just kind of weave it in like this and pull it through. And depending on what I'm doing, I might weave it in there 3 or 4 times. Just weave it in between the stitches. And there you go. Now you're going to take your scissors and cut it close. And there you go. Your end has been tucked in. It's as easy as that. If you wanted to try making a scarf or a small blanket with these stitches, that would be very easy to do. For a scarf, I would chain on 20 or 25 and then just continue on from there. You could do the whole thing in single crochet. You could alternate. You could do some single crochet, some half double. You could make up any pattern you wanted to. Make it as long as you want and tie it off and add some fringe on the ends. If you wanted to do a small blanket, you could do the same thing. You could add on 50 or 60 chain and then go from there. Use any of these stitches that you want. Just make sure however many stitches you have on the first row should continue after that. See, you can count here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stitches. So that will make your work nice and even. I hope that today's video has you excited about crocheting. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials and some fun projects. Also, feel free to share this video. Until next time, happy crocheting.